Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. Sony have revealed not only the multiplayer reveal trailer for Black Ops 3, but they've also shown us some footage from the Rise and Fall campaign mission. Now, they showed it in co-op, so there's quite a lot that we can look at, and I'm going to be breaking it down quite briefly in this video, and then in more depth looking at specific things in future videos this week, so make sure you've subscribed if you haven't already, and we'll jump straight into the details now. So, first of all, we have the safe room. That is this room here. To explain a little bit about what that does, I've thrown some freeze frames into the video so you can get a good look at what it is I'm talking about. You can see that the safe room has a couple of areas to it. It's not just one small room, and one of the things that you'll see in here, obviously you've got this blue thing on the right, not very clear what that is exactly, and then you also have, for example, the armory here. You can actually see what I presume are names of guns popping up on that screen as the player goes around it. And so in this place, you're going to be able to select your loadout. You'll also be able to choose your mission. That's because you've got the mission record vault here. You can replay missions in the campaign, by the way, in case you weren't aware. And this little area will actually give you info about the upcoming mission. So for example, you can see you've got anticipated engagement distance, expected resistance, and things like that. Maybe some pictures of the mission and the location so you have a feel for where you're going, and a little bit of a blurb about what the mission will entail. When you're ready, you go to the ready room, you wait for your team, as you can see here, and then when everybody has readied up, because it's a full cooperative campaign, you can jump into the mission. Now, I've sped up this first little sequence. It's not a cutscene per se, you are still walking around, but it has its cutscene-y moments. This guy basically dies, and that's what's happening here. You can see he's impaled on a spike, and eventually we get into some proper gameplay with guns. So here we have a player, player 1. You can see that there are 4 players on the screen here, and that's because as they're pushing extremely hard this year, it's a completely cooperative campaign. If you want to play it with 4 people, you can. If you want to play it with 1 person, you can. So the player switches through a couple of menus here. One of them is Remote Hijack, take control of an enemy robotic vehicle, which sounds super cool. You've got Overdrive, which allows you to move faster, aim better, and handle equipment quicker for a time. You've then got Immolation, burst a robot into flames, set off all explosives carried by an enemy, these sorts of things, which are really, really cool to see, and stuff that I'm going to love using in the campaign. You can see the player actually uses it on an enemy here. He's using Immolation. You can see that's what he has selected in the bottom right, and that bar is something that is going to replenish when you do things like get kills, when you do things like blow up enemies, as he just did with that rocket launcher, all those kinds of abilities. This person is obviously using something else. It's a different ability. You can see, again, it's denoted in the bottom right which one you have equipped, and so they're all using different things, which is cool, and they give us a nice showcase of what we can expect to see with those abilities. Talking of those abilities, the player pulls out a rocket launcher and takes out this walker in front of him, decides to then jump over the heads of these 2 characters here, and then what you'll see is the player appears to use Immolation on the walker in front of him, or rather the ship holding it, and takes it out. Then he starts running on a wall, throws some C4. Also, actually, I want to skip forward just a little bit here to show you that, look in the bottom left, you've got that icon, which is completely new as well, which is pretty damn cool. And this clip, first of all, we've got the Illuminati eye, very nice, all-seeing eye there. But then also, you'll notice that just behind where that eye is, you can see a black pillar. There's this big pillar in the middle of this open square area. And the map, I guess, is in many ways dynamic, because that pillar is going to get wrecked in the middle of this battle. You'll see that the player is shooting next to it, and it then gets rocketed or something like that, and the whole thing crumbles. Pretty awesome stuff. Then we see Protocol Override, which allows you to switch to robots' friend or enemy recognition, which will mean that they can fight for you. He switches back to Remote Hijack, though, and runs back into the fray towards where his teammates are. You can see a load of skulls, actually, which is pretty awesome, over everything. And then he hijacks the walker, jumps right in, and goes to town. You can see the building there getting wrecked as well. So, like I was saying, these dynamic environments in which you can blow stuff up, basically, sound pretty cool, and I cannot wait to jump into them. We then see the player select a Firefly Swarm, which sounds awesome, but we don't really see it in action particularly much because the camera's switching around. And then the walker here does get destroyed, and we go to a cutscene. You can see you have that rocket launcher again over the shoulder. Walker gets destroyed, and that is the Black Ops 3 E3 campaign footage that we have seen so far. I've been MrRoflWaffles. Hopefully you guys have really enjoyed this breakdown. I implore you to subscribe. Go ahead and do that, and like the video while you're at it, and I'll no doubt see you in more Black Ops 3 related videos in the near future. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.